Hello everybody, this is the Anime Bro here, and welcome to day 15 of my anime Christmas list. And today, we'll be talking about anime number 11, Rising of the Shield Hero. A story about a boy who was transported to another world only to become an enemy to an entire kingdom. Now before this video starts, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this. And tomorrow, come back for anime number 10. And now, let's get into the video. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the story. Now just like my anime reviews, I have a good point that I really liked about the story and a bad point that I really wish it didn't have. And we're first going to start off with a good point. So a good point that I really liked about the story is the realism in the world. So basically every time that something happens in it, there's always going to be a consequence, whether it be good or bad. Now throughout the show, it basically tells you what would really happen if you were transported into another world. Even though you could be the destined hero of something, the whole country can turn on you and basically say you're a monster. Even though you found a way to save a village from hunger, it doesn't mean that that plant itself would actually be something good later on. Just because you killed the dragon doesn't mean that the problem will automatically go away. Just because you killed a leader because of his corruption does not mean that corruption no longer exists in that kingdom. It's a really cool thing that honestly other isekais or fantasies usually don't do. And I really like that in this show. So a bad point that I really didn't like about the story is there are a lot of idiots in this show. Now I don't just mean the heroes, but also kings and whatnot. Now I'm going to talk about the king especially. So the king basically thinks that he is in power the whole time. That everything he does is obsolete and no one can defy him. But Naofumi, the shield hero, basically says he could do whatever he wants as long as he doesn't mess with him. Now the king still thinks that he's an all-powerful god and basically says, "How dare you threaten me?" And Naofumi looks at him and says, "Yes, I'm threatening you. What are you going to do about it?" And basically just runs off and does his own thing. But the king still goes around doing his own thing, and it's just very annoying seeing an idiot just becoming a ruler. Now not everyone's an idiot, but by far this guy really is the biggest idiot in the show. Now what I want to talk about is the main character, Naofumi Iwatani. Now just like my story part, there is a good point that I really liked about him, and a bad point that I really wish didn't happen. And of course, we're going to start off with a good point. So a good point that I really liked about Naofumi is that he's self-reliant. So after he was framed for being a monster, he eventually thought of a way to actually make money so that he can go on his adventures. And basically what he's doing is becoming a merchant. He goes around, travels, and sells goods to those that need it. And he also finds ways to actually build things that may be valuable in the far future. I really do like this about him because then it shows that he can find ways to actually live upon himself, while the other heroes basically rely on what the royal family could give them. It's a really cool thing that's basically different from other fantasies where they just go into guilds and basically do odd jobs. He's actually doing something that's really interesting, and I really do like that about him. So a bad thing that I really didn't like about him was that he was transported to a new world. Now in the show, Naofumi is seen as this selfish guy that only cares about his group and himself. But before that, it seemed like he was a nice guy. Like a normal guy who just wanted to live a nice life. But because he was framed for doing something that he didn't do, that's when he started to become cold and distant. And honestly, I kind of feel bad for the guy because he was just taken out from his world and just sent here only to be seen as a monster just because of something that someone says. And I really feel bad about that. Now I know this isn't something about him, but honestly, you gotta admit, being transported only to be hated, I wouldn't really want that. So before I end this video, I just want to tell you why this show is number 11 on my list. Now the reason why it's really high on my list is because the world building is really good. People have consequences for their actions whenever they do things, either it being somebody dies, a village gets hurt, or basically a kingdom disappears. That's really why this is so high. But the real reason why it's not any higher is because it's not really rewatchable. Certain moments are cool to see, and I really do rewatch some moments sometimes, but overall, I wouldn't really rewatch this show from beginning to end. It's a really good watch when you first see it, but after that, certain moments I kinda don't want to rewatch. It's a really good show if you're into fantasy, so if you haven't seen it, I recommend you give this a watch. Alright, and that is the end of this video. If you really enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this. And come back tomorrow for anime number 10. I am the Anime Bro, and see you guys later. Peace!